live. So let's take a comfortable seat. In the email I sent out yesterday, in observance of Earth Day this week, so our 51st Earth Day, it really made me think about how much the world has changed in the past 50 years. And then I thought back another 50, and then thought back further. And it is mind-boggling, mind-blowing what the speed of change that we are experiencing. So that's the gunas again, the rajasic change is happening so fast. So how do we stay anchored within all of that? Because we are just part of the greater cosmos. We don't exist separate from anything or anybody else. And we can forget that, but the wellness of all depends on the wellness of each one of us and vice versa. And when we practice, that is an opportunity and an invite to really ponder that. I love the old, I think it came from the press, and they said their little moniker was that it is meant to comfort the afflicted, but also meant to afflict the comforted. And I think yoga is like that. Bring comfort to what ails, but it also asks us to step up and really take a broader view of everything that is going on. So we start with the chin mudra today. That is the thumb and the index finger coming together, and with the palms facing up. So this is not chin. Palms facing down is chin, palm facing up is jhana or dhyana, which unless you are raised with an Indian tongue teachings, it's really hard to say because you got to flick the tongue on the upper palate to say it. So we'll say it Englishly, jhana, J-N-A-N-A, which means wisdom or consciousness. So now we are opening ourselves up to the universal consciousness of all things, looking beyond ourselves. And we begin to settle in to our body, our home. And the body is the earth element. It's a physical event, and especially the root chakra. So the 5 elements also corresponds with the chakras and the elements that everything is comprised of. Earth is the most dense and the easiest one to relate to. Water, fluidity, the 2nd chakra, that's the pelvis, the sacral chakra. Fire, the 3rd chakra. Fire in the belly is a good thing to have. It gets stuff done. It also instigates change that sometimes have a little bit of a tamasic energy. I like things the way they are, and I don't want to do anything to upset the status quo. Air, the element of the heart. Prana. So the heart and lungs are connected in the yoga practice. One and both receives the prana energy. So as you breathe in and out, notice the oxygen drawing into your body, and then the CO2 that draws out. The carbon dioxide is CO2. Carbon dioxide. So we have this relationship with our world again. It supports us and we support it too. Ether, space. It's the throat chakra. And so when I think of these 5 elements, it's easy enough to relate to earth and water, fire, but it becomes a little bit more diffuse with air and ether. And then in physical terms, thinking about the state of things for the earth, the water, fires, air. and ether, the ozone, pollution. How does that affect us? How do we balance these elements outside of ourselves? What can we do to support that? Everybody can't do everything, but we can all do something, which is what we do when we get onto the mat. A little bit consistently is what produces the change that we desire. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu is a mantra that I start every day with. It simply says, may all beings be happy and free, and may all my actions contribute towards that. So as you breathe in and out, let there be a sense of an invitation to meet the practice, to meet your world and your experiences. The best you know how. Does it feel sattvic? Does it feel easeful? Or is there turbulence, distractions that creep in? Cleansing breath, a kapalati. It's a great spring breath for a little clearing. Let's take and place our right hand on the lower abdomen. And this is the breath practice with a forceful exhalation. So invoking your bandhas. So as you exhale quickly with a sharp through the nose, by pumping the belly back. So if the Mula Bandha is not engaged, things are going to go down rather than up, and we want things to go up. This helps clean the nasal passages. It also gets some of that stuckness out of the lungs, and it builds a little bit of a digestive fire. And then breathing normally again, just breathing in and out into the belly. In this slow manner, it is safe for most everybody. So there are these obvious contraindicators. If you've had recent abdominal surgery, I would skip this one. I would do gentle belly breathing. If you have high, uncontrolled blood pressure, I would also not recommend this one, but the slow one that we're doing is fine. Now, getting the movements comfortable first without speed. So getting that smooth and easy. And then we can begin to add more speed to the practice. So it begins to look like this. So I invite you to be good stewards of your vessel, and doing the speed that's comfortable for you. Will go for about 6 cycles. And then breathing normally. Did the breath maybe get a little easier? And then relax the hands. Let's twist across of the legs. And we'll start with some simple, gentle opening stretches, reaching up. And let's twist to the right. And inhale up, twisting to the left. Let's go back and forth in an easy way. The yamas, the first limb of the 8-limb yoga practice, bears to be kept in mind. Absence of violence in thought, words, or deed, both for our own protection, but for everything and everybody else's too. Let's inhale, take the arms up again. And we'll go down to the right side, side bending, inhaling up, and go to the left. Back and forth. Truth, satya. Speak the truth of your heart. To support the absence of violence. Non-stealing. That's probably one of the hardest ones because it happens in so many ways that we don't really think about. But again, it violates ahimsa. Coming back to center, we'll take the legs up in front and do a little knee pounding, and then take the soles of the feet together. With the hands on the ankles, round the spine, back and forward. It's a little cat and cow. And then the last two are the twins. I call them that. Brahmacharya. Be frugal with your resources. But don't be greedy. Let's stay in our lifted heart. So the cow pose, they call this. And just wiggle around a little bit. Just get the fascia moving. And we'll take the knees together and take them back out again. Sitting up tall, hands behind on the supports. I'm still up on my blankets. Reaching out through the toes. Spread the toes. And then lift up through the heart. Lift up through the heart. And we'll take the arms up. Interlace the fingers and take the palms towards the sky. Keep the legs firm, not rigid. And then relax the chin towards the chest. Breathing in and out. And then exhale, we'll take the hands down. And I think we're ready to come into standing. I'll move everything off my mat. So starting with our mobilizations, movements, I like these. With the feet as close together as comfortable for you. And then take the hands to the knees. I'm keeping the knees together so that they are not spreading out, but together. And then keeping my bottom of my feet as wide on the floor as I can. So the knees are traveling together as a circle. And you get the inner knees to touch comfortably. So ankles and knees, lubrication. Let's do it the other direction. That feels pretty good, doesn't it? And you can talk to a very short person while you're doing this little one. And then let's stand up and then take the feet a little bit wider. Take the hands to the hips and we'll do our hip circles. So preservation, right? Preservation and conservation. Not too much, not too little. So that's again the twins, brahmacharya and aparigraha. Fun just to say for no other reason than that. So if you want to keep your brain going strong, learn a new language. And I agree with that. I started learning Chinese a couple of years ago. It ain't going so well. I'll just say that. And then let's come back to center. And then here, with softness in the knees. So don't be super grounded. Let's do an easy little twist. So this is really for the rib cage. We want everything to travel together with ease. And we come back to center. We take the hands to the shoulders and then do shoulder circles. Yeah, about 5-ish each direction. See if you can get the elbows to touch as you go forward. And then let that go. Shake it out a little bit. And then let's do some just gentle neck movements. Take the right ear towards the right shoulder and lifting it up. And then go to the other side. Just easy back and forth. So just mainly keeping it in the neck. Don't go too far. And then take the chin towards the chest. And then looking up. So not just the skull and the atlas mainly, but there's going to be a little bit of flexion and extension in the neck too. But keeping shoulders and trunk still. This is the main movement that we have in the Five Tibetans. And that really helps stimulate the thyroid gland, the thymus gland, so that all other systems can work well. It also works with the wandering nerve, the vagus nerve, that helps regulate the secretions from our endocrine, the whole endocrine system, from the thyroid glands to the heart, pancreas, adrenal glands, stomach, and the intestines. And of course, also our reproductive system. So stuff that we want working well. Now, starting with our spinning. So this is the chakra or reset. With the feet, they're comfortable. Arms out to the side. So remember, you always spin clockwise, never counterclockwise, they say. And you choose the speed. Keep connected to the sensations of your feet on the floor as you spin. This is the one where we don't need to count. We just spin until we don't spin no more. So this is good for me. And then as you come to stand, power stance, the feet about hip width apart, hands on the hips. So stand like you mean business. And then breathe in and out. Belly breathing. Really connecting to the earth. Standing like this, they say, increases cortisol, something that begins to wane for many as we age. And that is our can do. Too much of it, not so good. Stress. Chronic stress, it begins to weaken our adrenal glands. Now from here, so we're going to take a couple of detours in between. So we'll start with Utkatasana. So take the legs close together again. And let's take the hands to the hips. lengthening up through the front spine. And as you exhale, bend the knees. So as you bend the knees and take the seat back, take the seat back. And maybe take the arms forward, straight forward. So a great pose to really get us into our earth energy. Hug the legs together and breathe. Maybe sit a little lower. And breathe. Maybe sit a little bit lower. Squeeze the legs together, squeeze the legs together. Sneaky little boogers, those knees. And inhale, let's press all the way up. Lift, reach, and take the hands down. Now, let's come onto the back. I'm going to work a little bit here with the fire element. So the next one is the leg lifts. So as you come onto your back, slide the thumbs under your hips. And we'll start with the bent knee variation. It's just a little kinder. On the in-breath, chin to chest, and then knees go in. And exhale, feet back to the floor. So now on the out-breath, keep the spine steady, grounded as you lower the legs. Let's do 2 more. Breathing in. Knees come in, and as you exhale, really engage the bandhas. Pelvic floor, lower abdomen. Once down, take a breath in and out. Let everything relax in between. Keep the elbows straight. So the arms are straight down alongside, back of the shoulders pressing down. See, this is pretty manageable, right? That helps work on the vagus nerve very effectively. So it's just a head lift, not a crunch, just the head. Well, you guys are looking good. Now let's take the right leg out long. So we'll do Ekapada, one leg. On your next in-breath, lift the right leg. And exhale, lower down. Take a full breath in and out. And we'll repeat. Get that full breath in and out in between. We'll do it 3 times on the right. And then we'll switch to the left. Remember, if anything hurts, it's uncomfortable, bent knees, so choose a variation that supports you, doesn't hurt you. Inhaling up, exhaling down. Inhaling up and exhaling down. And pause. Enjoy the work. It's not punishment, it's a gift. So now for the third go about, we already have 2 options to enjoy. For the Big Lebowski, both legs together. So as you inhale, chin to chest, lift the legs. Exhaling down, keep everything still in the spine. Full breath in and out. And again. So we don't want to hold residual tension in between. We're just going to let each one be born and then fade away. And then relax. Check in on how you're feeling. The next one will be the camel pose. So let's bend up the knees, roll over, and come into kneeling. And here it may be nice to have a blanket under the knees. You can also do this one standing if the knees do not like to kneel. You can place a blanket under the shins so the knees themselves are not feeling pressure. Let's take the hands to the sacrum, and I like to use fists here. So my fists presses right into the sacrum. My knuckles are together. And if you can see, because that helps me with I'll show my hands. So here's how my hands are on my back. They press right into my sacrum. So my nails are together-ish. They're sort of tucked in. My palms are facing in the same direction. That's what I'm trying to say. Now let's roll the shoulders up and down the back. And let's start this movement small. As you inhale, lift the chin towards the sky. And then exhale, take the chin back down towards the chest. Inhaling again, lift the chin towards the sky. Keep the spine, the neck long. And exhale, come down again. Being conservative in how you build the movement. Maybe go back a little bit more each time if it feels okay. But be mindful. Going back on the in-breath. Coming up on the out-breath. Make it easy, but not too easy. So that right amount, sattvic, balanced. And then let this be the last one. And then from here, let's stand up again. So this is what the chair, the next one, the reverse tabletop, because that is just not everybody's favorite. So with the chair, I think we can make it a favorite. On the floor, so Agnes, I see you don't have a chair. So the floor variation, if you like to do that one, which we are going to go to next, but that's where you sit down. But I wanted to show the chair because that one is just really easy. Same principle, whether you are on the floor. On the floor, you want the hands beside the hips, We do the same thing on the chair. And then with the chin tucked towards the chest. And then inhale, leaning back with the head as we just did in camel pose. And then lift the hips. Let the head go back as far as it's comfortable. And then exhale, return back. Take a breath in and out. And then we repeat, inhaling, lift the hips. Squeeze at the top and return back to home plate. And then again, lifting the hips. Squeeze at the top and lowering down. So I'm going to come also to the floor. You can stay in the chair if that is that happier place. On the floor, keeping the hands beside the hips. They sneak back, I know that. So if it feels like the arms are too long, and we all have our own body parts. So one of the reasons that the arms may feel too long is because the spine is collapsing. So with the hands, again, by the hips, we can use that to press the hands down, and then we create a little bit of traction in the spine. You may feel like your spine can take on a little bit of a slinky. So Janice, move your hands slightly further forward. Slightly further forward, yeah. And so here, and not letting the shoulders lift, but let the heart lift. Let the heart lift as you straighten the elbows. On the inhalation, dig the heels down and lift the hips. And exhale. Get the katukas back where it started. So notice, did the hands slide back a little bit again, Janice? And let's do another 3. Lifting, holding, and releasing down. So nice arm strengthener. Lifting, holding, and lowering down. See, we're doing good. Wrist circling, yes. Go both direction, and then these little squid hands. So it is ironic, the pose that helps strengthen our hands and wrists are also often the ones that hurt. Now, we have arrived at the up dog, down dog. Let's begin with our puppy variation, because it does very much the same thing. So we start with the toes tucked under in our tall cobra. And then exhale. I said that wrong. Inhale, this is where the breath is switched back to puppy. Exhaling up to cobra. Back and forth. So keep the toes tucked under in this variation. Unless it doesn't feel good, then don't tuck them under. And then from here, we can add a little bit more Rajasic energy, a little bit more fire. By when we come forward to cobra pose, we add a little push-up. And then we exhale into cobra. Inhale back to dog. Exhale, come up, push up, and continue on forward. So keeping the knees down for starters. Make it easy. And play with it here. You may be able to go a little lower. Elbows hugs into the body, not out to the side. So that's pretty easy, right? Which means we may want to contemplate doing more of the classical variation. In this one here, so you be the judge. We start in up dog with the toes tucked under. We inhale, downward facing dog. Exhale, forward to plank, push up, and continue the journey forward. And so it goes. Now you can take your knees down for the push up again. Don't spread your shoulders to do a tall push up. So whichever variation you like. From up dog, inhale back. And then after the next one, I invite you to go back and rest in wide knee child's pose. Reconnect to your physical self, Anamaya Kosha, the outer layer, again, the earth element, also called the food layer. So we are what we eat. Connect to your Pranamaya Kosha, the breath layer. Inviting the breath into your body. Feel the ribs expanding to the backside. Feel the low back and the sacrum getting a little expansion as you breathe in and out. And then use your hands to come into a comfortable, so press your hands down so you can sit up. And then we're going to take our blankets for the next practices. So these are not part of the Tibetans, but the Tibetans, if you ask me, are lacking the twisting element of the body. So a blanket to sit on, and I have it folded in the hamburger fold. So fold it over and sit. The other one we may choose to use for our knees. Let me have a look-see. So we'll sit in Dandasana again, seated staff pose. Lifting the heart, legs are firm, grounding down. Lifting the heart, lift the heart. So let this be an opportunity for the spine to traction downwards. As you press the hands down, you may lift the tuchus. And then the spine can just soften down a wee bit. And then land the toes, and then take the right leg in. We start with Marichyasana 1 today. So take your right arm to the inside of the right knee, creating a little bind, and the left hand goes back, lengthening up through the spine, and then as you exhale, twist to the left, lengthening up, and then breathe out and maybe deepen the twist. So remember from the osteoporosis, use your muscles to twist. Don't be so heavy in the leverage from the elbow and the knee. We want the muscles to do the work for us. And slowly come back to center. And then we'll take the right knee down to the side. And if it's floaty, take your other blanket and give it something to rest on. Now here, now I tell you, can you reach your strap? So using the strap around the left foot. Now lengthen up through the spine again. Lift the heart, broadening the collarbones. And then add a little twist of the upper spine. So now my heart faces out over my left leg. Heart looks at your left leg. And then the work begins. Inhale, lengthening up. And as you exhale, hinge forward, bowing your belly towards the thigh. We lift again, pull the belly in and up, in and up, in and up. And then exhale. Allow it to come a little bit closer, all the while walking the hands down the strap. Now remember, there's that little notion of the back of the head and the sacrum. They kind of stay on the same the same, I can't think of the word I'm trying to use. But if I were to place a stick on the back body of yours, would it touch both your sacrum and also the back of your skull? So sometimes we begin to round really early in this pose. So keep lifting the heart, lift the heart, lift the heart, lift the heart, broaden the collarbones. Press your left leg down, press the left leg down. Or keep looking up, keep looking up. Don't drop the head, don't drop the head. So the shoulder blades are down on the back, not riding up. Now we'll take one more breath. And then here, now really ground the legs firmly, ground the legs firmly. Let go of the strap and take your arms forward. Reach, and then press down through the legs to come all the way up into seated. And take the arms down. We'll help the right leg up, take it out, and take the left leg. Left elbow to the inside of the left knee, right arm goes back. So left leg is up, left leg is up, and left arm meets it. Did you do the other side before, Agnes? Okay, so you're gonna you're gonna twist to the left, but you're gonna have the right arm and right knee are meeting up. Together, we'll sort it out. Let's inhale, root down through the sits bones and your right leg. And let that be an invitation to the spine to lift. Four corners of your left foot firmly anchored. And then we begin to invite the muscles to do the job, rotating to the right. We lift, 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 lift. And we deepen the rotation. Lift again. Deepen the rotation. But use the muscles deep inside and the obliques. Creating change, one breath, one action at a time. And then slowly return back to center. And we let the left knee go down to the floor. Again, supporting it if it's floaty. We'll take the strap again. Plane, the word is plane. The back of the head and the sacrum traveling on the same plane. Oh. All right, let's lengthen up. So now here, as you sit very tall, you can use the strap. And then in your mind's eye, place the back of your head and your sacrum on the same plane. So the spine is moving in. Little twisty to the right, facing over the right leg, and then the work begins. We lengthen up again, and we exhale. We let the torso begin to journey forward. The head is following what the spine is doing, but it is not leading. Lengthen the spine again, ground firmly through the right leg, and then is there a little bit more hinge? Firmly ground, firmly ground. Notice again, are you rounding the upper back? Can you keep the chin lengthening forward towards your foot? So it's, again, one breath, one action at a time. Once the belly is on your thigh, then we begin to release the head down. And some days that happens, and some days that does not happen. That's okay. Now firmly ground the leg. Take your arms forward again. Reach the arms forward as we did in Utkatasana. So very similar feelings in the arms and the legs. And then from the legs, grounding, pushing yourself all the way up. And take the arms down. We'll invite the left knee back up. Take the right leg back in. Marichyasana 3. Now we use the left hand on the right knee. Right hand goes back. Inhale, lift, 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 lift up through the spine again. So a sense of the shoulder blades moving a little closer together so you're opening up your inner heart leg. And we begin to twist. Use the muscles. Use the muscles. Lengthening and deepening. Lift, 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 lift. Twist, 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 twist. Can you feel it? Muscles are hugging in around bone, supporting the action, and also squeezing out that stale and stagnant blood, the nutrients, the oxygen that gets stuck in muscles that are not used. We get the lymph moving, everything. And slowly release your right knee down. So we're in the twist and the right knee goes down. Take your left hand to the outer right knee. Right arm comes up. Reaching down. Ground the legs firmly. So we're still in the twist. And now inviting your left side waist towards the left thigh. Left thigh towards the thigh. So side bending. With the hand on the knee, you can maintain the twist, but don't force, don't force. Lengthen, so it's a side bend at the hip, not the waist initially. Lengthen the side, lengthen the side, lengthen the side, lengthen, 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 lengthen. And press into your left leg all the way up. And now we return back to center. Right knee up. Left knee in. Right hand, left knee. Left arm back. And we begin the journey. Marichyasana 3 first. Lifting up through the front spine. And begin the twist. Explore it slowly. Don't be in a hurry. Don't be in a hurry. Sense the muscles really contracting in around bone. Supporting the spine. Releasing the left knee to the side. Take the right hand to the outer left thigh and the left arm to the sky. Left arm to the sky. Reaching up, reaching up, reaching up. And then now right waist moves down towards the right thigh. Keep your left sits bones anchored. And can keep your spine long. No need to give yourself scoliosis. Firm grounding of your right leg. Firm grounding of the right leg. Firm grounding of the pelvis. This is one of the poses that gets us to the hip hikers. The quadratus lumborum on the back. That not many of the other poses can allow us to connect with. Let's do one more breath. And then coming back to up the top. And turn back to center. Take the legs out in front. There is a Dandasana to be had here also. Pressing the hands down. lengthening up. And now let's come off the blanket that we were sitting on and walk the feet in. It's just a little easy to do boat pose, not on a blanket. So after a one-sided pose, we're going to do something that's going to bring everything back to center. With the hands behind the knees, okay, skull, sacrum, same plane. So lift the heart, lift the heart. And this allows us to rock back, rocking back, so that the feet takes flight. Keep the spine long and lifted, long and lifted. This is the matter of gravity. Strong lift of the front spine. Notice if you begin to round, so pull the shoulder blades together and down the back, together and down the back. And then you may be able to take the right arm off. You've got one oar going. Right leg is holding itself now. And we'll switch. Other side. Keep lifted. Don't round, don't round, don't round. Lift, 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 lift. And plant the feet down. And just take your arms around your knees. And pause here. Breathing into the back body. So it's like a sort of a seated child's pose. Breathing in and out. And then sitting up, now we're going to use the strap again. And take the strap under your feet. So instead of holding my hands behind the knees, I'm now holding my feet instead with the strap. Do the same thing. I rock back. I sit very tall. Rocking back, sitting tall. So here, how does this feel different than before? And I can begin maybe to straighten my leg using the strap. Keep the heart lifted, keep the shoulder blades together and down, together and down. Oh, you guys look good. We got a high roller. And let's take the feet back down. And come all the way onto the back. For a full body stretch. Elongate, stretch. And now take the arms down. Allow the legs to separate. Turning the palms up. And then assess, would I like something to support my legs, my head? Removing eyeglasses so my eyes can relax completely as well, and then really settle in. Once you determine this is absolutely perfect for me, no tension, no irritation, returning to the breath. Flowing in and out. Like the wind amongst the tall grasses. Sattva, balance. And then gently begin to deepen your breath. Wiggling fingers and toes. Here I am again. Bending up the knees. Rock the knees from side to side, maybe hug them in. Whatever feels good for you. Eventually, rolling over onto right or left side. And then use your arms and hands to press up into a comfortable seated posture. We'll bring our palms together at heart center. We'll close with 3 ohms. The sound, the vibration, which connects us to everything in the past, in the future, and this moment. Let's take a deep breath in. Exhale and bow your head towards your heart. Your precious light that we share with everybody. Let's draw the gaze up. Namaste.